बच्चों के साथ शोषण और हिंसा की कई शक्लें होती हैं, लेकिन क्या हम उन्हें पहचानते हैं? जाने अनजाने में कहीं हम भी अपने बच्चों का शोषण तो नहीं कर रहे हैं? परिवार और समाज इनके बारे में कितना जागरूक हैं? बच्चों से जुड़े ऐसे बेहद ज़रूरी सवालों पर गो न्यूज़ रिपोर्टर नमिता सिंह ने यूनिसेफ इंडिया में चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन के चीफ एगुलर हवियर से बात की है। देखिए ये रिपोर्ट।
So from the time we try to correct our children, their behavior, we use physical punishment, for instance, and we tend to normalize that type of violence. We think it is normal, it's the right way to raise children. So that will be the first. The second is the way we raise girls to feel, in some families, in some communities, that they are less than boys. When we tend to put all this pressure on girls as being less, it is in some ways enabling violence against them. The third one is that we put incredible pressure on children to perform well in schools. And you will say it's for their own benefit. But currently in the country, this type of pressure is really a bit too much and may account in some cases for some sort of emotional violence. I think what is crucially needed in India, not only in India, it's globally, is that we invest more on parenting education, parenting practices. We tend to concentrate on children alone, but I think we have neglected somehow the parents. And learning with them, it's not about teaching to them, but learning with them on positive parenting practices. How do we raise our children without using violence? One thing is that parents should be able to be trusted by their own children and be able to talk about sex, sexuality. If children are not able to trust their parents and able to talk about those things, we are closing opportunities and making them vulnerable to sexual abuse. So that's number one. Number two is that children should be trained in child safety. Here in India, we have wonderful experiences in many states in which children go through trainings on child safety, including child sexual abuse. They should learn how to protect themselves. And the third one is really how do we make our schools and public institutions safe to them. It's important that also the schools have the means to avoid any kind of abuse within their premises. And for that, it's not only about rules or cameras, it's about how do we ensure that the child can report abuse at the hands of a peer or any a teacher or any headmaster. Indeed, victim protection is a top priority here. And the harsher you have the sentence, the most you probably give incentives to the perpetrator to take action against the victim. It's something that we can assume as a possibility. So for this reason, I think the priority is not about how harsh the punishment would be. Two things have to happen. In India, we have very low conviction rates. Out of about 100,000 cases that are open, maybe only 10% out of these cases will be disposed within 1 year, which is what the law establishes. So there is no justice delivered to those children. Out of the 10% cases that will be disposed, maybe less than 30% will be convicted. So it shows you that the real problem is not on the sentence, it's make justice accessible to children. Deterrence, I will think in terms of prevention because it's better. This is about the child being able to protect himself or herself. That's the thing, is how do they prevent abuse? How do we make our public institutions such as schools, childcare institutions safer to children? And third one, if there is abusers of children, they should follow the law and they should be prosecuted, and if they have really committed a crime, convicted. That's the best deterrent you can find. I prefer the term prevention and not deterrent. It's not about punishment, it's about the child.